Testing. Good afternoon, Cleveland activist community. And could we have asked for a better weather day for today's event? My name is Steve Haleko. I'm with the Cuyahoga County Progressive Caucus, and we are one of a couple dozen activist groups that are co-hosting today's Protest While You Can in Cleveland event. And simultaneously around the state in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, Toledo, Chillicothe, Oberlin, and a few other cities, similar events are occurring. Before I tell you why we're here and what we're going to do, I want to introduce Rob Rice, who's going to do today's land greeting.
How's everybody doing? What's up, everybody? My name's Robert Rice. I'm with the Committee of 500 Years of Dignity and Resistance, and tons of other organizations that I don't need to go into. Louder. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Cool. Yeah. So Robert Rice with the Committee of 500 Years. I am tribally enrolled Saponi, also Catawba Tuscarora of the Bear Clan. And before we proceed with today's action, I thought that it would be the responsible thing to, it's a big trend nowadays to do land acknowledgements, which I don't personally care for because I think they're performative and no one's giving the land back. Traditionally, what we did was actually land welcome, where we were, before anything will proceed on the territory. First and foremost, we are on the territory of the Iroquois Confederacy, the Haudenosaunee, Seneca, Mohawk, Tuscarora, Oneida, Cayuga, Onondaga, Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Odawa, Potawatomi, Lenape, Wyandotte, Catawba, Miami, Shawnee, Erie. And traditionally speaking, when a group of people or an individual would arrive to a territory, they wouldn't necessarily acknowledge it, they would be welcomed before you could do anything in that space. The indigenous people of that territory will welcome you into the space. So, as someone who is supporting the Catawba Tuscarora of the Bear Clan, who descends from the people of this territory, I welcome you all here to this land. Thank you for being here. Look out for each other, be safe, and all power to the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. We are here today because there is a clear line from Trump to January 6th to the anti-voting law passed in Georgia, and maybe, hopefully not, to the anti-voting law coming up in Ohio, and to these anti-protest bills. Republicans no longer want to legislate, to go back and forth in discourse between their proposals and ours. They now very clearly want to crush democracy as we know it. And what's more democratic than voting and what we're doing here today, exercising our right to assemble. Last summer, many of you joined hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people across the country to express outrage in the murder of George Floyd. Hopefully we'll have some justice for George in a few days. After those protests, real awareness and some real change, maybe not enough real change, occurred. And so because of that, Republicans want to scare you away from coming out to demonstrations, from exercising your First Amendment right. Now, we have some friends from the General Assembly that are going to go into some detail, but let me just give you some highlights. If you wear tape over your face, or throw confetti, or write on chalk on a sidewalk or a street in a protest, you can be charged with a felony and put in jail. If you sit in the street during a protest, you can be charged with a felony and put in jail. And activist organizations who co-host events can be liable for any damages, even if they are committed by folks totally unconnected with the organization. So what they want to do, folks, is not have us here, not have us exercise our First Amendment rights. Please, right now, take out your phone. And click the icon where you can send a text. And the text you're going to send is to 440-220-1874. Again, 440-220-1874. These bills are right now in the committee process. There's 2 in the House, 2 in the Senate. We need you to be aware to take action almost on a daily basis, because we don't know when they're going to schedule committee hearings. We don't know when it's going to get through the House to the Senate or through the Senate to the House. So if you are willing to get updates and to take action, maybe a simple phone call to your state rep, please send your name and email address. And again, I'm going to repeat the number, 440-220-1874. Please welcome State Representative Stephanie House.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. How's everybody doing? All right. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank all of the organizers who took the time to convene those of us in Northeast Ohio to really lift up our voices, to let them know, regardless of what our government is trying to do, we will always believe in our right to assemble and protest on things that we know are unjust, right? Right. So I just wanted to take a brief moment to just talk about and give some updates on where we are. House Bill 22, most people know this is the anti-protest bill, where basically it's criminalizing people for lifting up their voice in protest, really giving people severe penalties as it relates to obstruction of justice. And the issues with this legislation is that it is so vague, right? It is not based on objective measures, it is based on subjective measures, right? And the thing of this that is very, very disturbing, and that we all should, again, continue to lift our voice up against, is the thought of taunting. It literally says in the legislation that anyone who is taunting an officer during an event can be charged, criminally charged. Why is this so damning, and why is this so dangerous? Currently, right now, as Steve talked about, the trial and the current trial that's going on regarding the man who murdered George Floyd, this is the exact defense that the officer is using in this case to say this is the reason why he killed a citizen. Taunting. And now we have members in the Ohio General Assembly that is trying to make that an actual defense. It is unconscionable and it is unfair. But what I would like to let you all know, this legislation was introduced in February. It has unfortunately had 3 hearings. But again, the people of Ohio have been speaking up against it. There have only been 2 individuals or 2 groups who have come to say they are in support of it. One is the Ohio, the State Patrol Association. The other one was misleading, was a former captain of the Columbus Police Department, but Columbus has said that they were against it. But there have been over 40 groups in Ohioans that have raised up their voices in opposition. 40 groups who have thus far lifted up their opposition to House Bill 22. So I always want to say, what are we going to do about it? The first thing I will ask everybody, the chairman, who is also the sponsor of the bill, his name is Representative LeRae. He is out of Representative, he was 77. It's 77 to 91. So you can email Rep 77 at ohiohouse.gov and tell him we do not want House Bill 22 to come up to a vote. It is dangerous and it will put more Ohioans' lives at risk. We all should have that opportunity. It is a constitutional right to be able to lift our voices, right? And the way that we have our forms of protest, that is our right. And so I would strongly encourage everybody to make sure you email the chairman, LaRae, who is also a bill sponsor, but also contact your own personal legislator to let them know. If you are also interested in having a written testimony or sponsoring this legislation, you can make sure you contact all of us in the House. I see Representative Skindale, myself, Representative House, and then there's Representative Brent. Please make sure we have your information so that we can give you the directions of how to make sure your voice is documented on paper. And the final thing, one of the things people don't realize is that we as Democrats are in the super minority, right? There are currently 64 Republicans and 35 Democrats in the House. There are 25 Republicans and 8 Democrats in the Senate. We need more help. We need more people who believe in people being able to lift up their voices in the Ohio General Assembly. We know we have redistricting coming up, but I would encourage people, we have to get more people that believe in what we believe down at the State House. There are elections going on every year. There's local elections right now, and we'll be back on the ballot in 2020. So please make sure, if you're not registered to vote, please register, and let's bring more people who believe in the right to vote, the right to protest, and lift up their voices in Columbus. Thank you all so much. Please continue to raise your voices and make sure you reach out to the sponsor and the chairman, Rep. LaRae, to do not put forward House Bill 22. Thank you so much, and now I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Representative Skindale. He's the dean. All right.
Thank you, Representative House. Let's give her a round of applause. She provides a strong voice in the Ohio House. So does Representative Brent. I am Representative Mike Skindale, representing the west side of Cleveland and Lakewood. And thank you for being here. It is so important that you're here. It is so important that you email your representatives, that you email representatives around Ohio about these bills. There's 4 bills. 2 in the House, 2 in the Senate. Senator Yuko is here. Make sure that you follow his instructions about addressing your senators also. They want to move these bills. They want to take your right away to assemble. They want to take your right away for free speech. They want to take your rights away as a woman. Corporations don't want to hear you. The wealthy and powerful do not want to hear you. Republicans do not want to hear you. We must fight back. You know, last year in 2020, the Chinese government enacted an anti-protest bill over Hong Kong. And what happened after those bills is hundreds of people were in prison. Hundreds of people were in prison. And that's what they're doing here. And they're making it broad to cover a whole swath of minor offenses. They just don't want to hear your voice. So it is important to stand up, to speak out, to email, to call, and to let your representatives know that you don't want this bill, that they have to vote against it. Vote against the anti-protest bill. Thank you, everybody. I want to introduce, we got to bring up Representative Brent. Representative Brent, come on up. And then you're going to introduce Senator Yuko.
Hey everyone, my name is Juanita Brent. I just happen to be a state rep. Since we are outdoors, I'm gonna take my little clear mask off. But this time, we don't have time to play. The good thing about Cuyahoga County, most of our people that's in the House and in the Senate are gonna go vote no for it. So you're gonna contact your Senator Yuko, you're gonna contact your Senator Antonio, Senator House, and we're just gonna keep on going down the list. Most of your reps and senators here in Cuyahoga County are gonna vote no for these bills. Our problem is what happens to those reps and senators that don't have anybody contacting them outside of Cuyahoga County. So our job as workers is not just to contact the reps you have here in Cuyahoga County, but it's also to contact representatives from other parts of the state. What I need everybody to do, because everybody has a cell phone, or I'm assuming you have a cell phone, or you know somebody with a cell phone, you know somebody with a computer. Go to ohiohouse.gov. Go to it right now. When you go to that website, it's ohiohouse.gov, you're going to see a tab that says members. You're going to see all members that's in the House. And if you're looking for the people in the Senate, you're going to ohiosenate.gov. We have to contact everybody. Your job, what I want you to make your homework assignment, and then I'm going to send it over to the center you go, is to contact at least 15 people outside of Cuyahoga County. We cannot just press the people that's here in Cuyahoga County. We got to do this for this whole state. We know what's at stake. We know our voices. We know everything, our agenda we're trying to get passed is at stake if we are not able to peacefully protest within our communities. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up my state senator, maybe your state senator too, Kenny Yuko. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sorry. You know, I came from the labor movement. If this was a labor rally, we'd have about a 38 high-foot rat sitting in the back there for us to look at, because we know that that'll get everyone's attention. That's what we need to do. That's what these bills are designed to stop. Senate Bill 16, sponsored by Senator Schaefer, making a crime to block traffic, as often is done in some of these protests, and sometimes just an innocent crossing of a street where you have large groups of people and they get in the way. Senate Bill 41, once again, Senator Schaefer, pay for costs of protest rallies if you do something where they can put you under arrest. House Bill 22, LeRae and Wilkin, obstructing justice, disobeying police orders. House Bill 109, Abrams and Carruthers, expands and creates riot crimes and increases penalties. Now, who does this impact? I'll tell you who it impacts. You know, when I was leaving the Union Hall to go down to the State House as a brand new state representative, I started studying all the bills and all the activities that a state representative would be going through. And I came to one conclusion, and I've been talking about this since 2005. We legislate by zip code. We incarcerate by zip code. We educate by zip code, and this has got to stop, and these bills will not do anything to help that. You know something? If you are a woman, you do not want any of these 4 bills to pass. If you are people of color, you don't want these bills to pass. Recently, you see what they've done to the Asian community. They don't want this bill to pass. If you're part of the LGBTQ community, you don't want these bills to pass. If you're Jewish, you're Muslim, or any other organized religion group, you don't want these bills to pass. If you're a union member, you don't want these bills to pass. These are no good. And how do we stop it? It's been well brought out to us. Well, here's what we need to do. Call up. There's 33 senators. There's 99 state reps. Get a group together. Get together, call them all. Send postcards. Get on your emails and send them an email. Send them a text message. Do whatever you can do. Let them get the message. I can tell you my 8 years in the Ohio House. I am now in my 7th year in the Ohio Senate. I'm in my 5th year as Senate Minority Leader. I get dozens, if not hundreds, of letters, phone calls, emails, etc. every single day from everything. And it does make a difference. And it'll make a difference for all of us when us, as part of our super minorities, take on the super majorities, the Republicans, in both the Ohio House and in the Ohio Senate. And that's what it's going to take. By the way, I love all your signs. I'm reading them all up here. I love all of them. We need these. By the way, these will be illegal too. You know, what the heck? They're just trying to tell us that we just don't matter. You know, they're doing all these gun debates. They're going to tell you the Second Amendment rights, the Second Amendment rights, the Second Amendment rights. Learn your Constitution. Well, what about our constitutional right to free speech? They seem to have forgotten about that. And we got to put an end to it. Listen, if we all stick together, we all fight really hard, maybe we can make a difference, okay? But we can't do it if we're going to sit on the sidelines and do nothing. And I'm preaching to the choir, because here you are on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. You could be home or doing a lot of other things, but you're here with us, which shows me that you care. So again, I'm preaching to the choir. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. And let's get this thing turned around. Thank you, and God bless all of you.
All right, folks, let's give it up for all of our friends in the General Assembly, representatives, House, Skindell and Brent and Senator Yuko. Now, we're going to start the march very soon. But our friend Paul here needs help with rhythm. So if you are so inclined, please come up and take one of these handmade drums so that we can have some noise along the way. Please look that way. Turn around.
Thank you for spending
Folks, do we have the banner?
Here, over here, let me get my wife to take a picture of your phone.
No, the banner in the back. Who's got the banner in the back? We are headed down Superior Avenue. A couple of blocks away are the Lausch State Office buildings. That's our first stop. Then we're heading down West 6th to St. Clair, down St. Clair to West 3rd. We're going to end up at the Injustice Center. We got speakers at each corner and activities that you may want to participate in. Let's go.
That t-shirt, Black Lives Matter. But it's hot.
They're just protesting like an anti-protest for certain bills that are being placed.
Is it about freedom of speech?
Yes.
Okay.